this is Marisha, and welcome back to another Melanated adventure. This is our official first episode. It's we just came back from spring break, and we decided to take a road trip in our new electric SUV. And we went to Eastern Washington, so we went to explore Spokane. Did I say that right? Spokane. We went to Spokane. We went to Idaho, and we went to Montana. It was it's really funny how my mom was so concerned about us going to Idaho and going to Montana, but for a very good reason. There's less than 1% of the African American population in the entire state of Idaho. 0.6% to be exact. I looked it up. So with that being said, it made for a very interesting trip. Follow along, you'll see that we just took a wrong turn looking for a restaurant in a certain area, and we saw wild turkeys walking around. I remember we stopped to charge our car, and it was in a Walmart parking lot. The kids had to use the restroom. So they immediately came back to the car and was like, they cannot believe the stares that they got. Even little kids were staring at them, and I'm like, Mom, what in the world? So it was very interesting to see their reaction to how people reacted to them. I mean, how many Walmarts do you go to and you don't see no black people? And we also checked out this resort called Suncadia Resort in Cle Elum, Washington on the way back. That was interesting. Why I feel like I keep saying interesting so much. It was a cool place to visit. Definitely some place I go back to. So watch the video. Tell me what you think. And I'm sure there's definitely some places that we missed that we should have gone to. So if we ever decide to go back to Idaho again or Montana, leave us some comments about some places we should definitely check out. I know for the kids, they're probably not wanting to go back to Idaho, but hey. And we really didn't find a potato, like just a regular Idaho potato. That was a little disappointing. We did have fries, though, that were Idaho fries. Guess that counts. Anywho, hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. So prior to leaving, I wanted to look up Black-owned restaurants in Spokane, and these are some of the ones that I found, but unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to check them out. Here, now we're just packing up. We're getting ready to go. Everybody has their blankets. This is the first charger that we have to stop to, and along the way this is going through Snoqualmie Pass, and you'll see how mountainous, how the elevation is going up, and now we entered snow. It was crazy. This entire trip we stayed on I-90, like the same I-90 that takes you all the way through Chicago. But once we got beyond Snoqualmie Pass and all the snow, the terrain changed, and it was fields with crops, and we saw a whole field of windmills. But our first stop was to the Wild Horses Monument. And once the girls saw this sign for watch for rattlesnakes, they basically stayed in the parking lot the entire time. It's a beautiful place. So up in the corner, you can see the wild horses, and a few of us, me and the guys, wanted to get a closer look. So that's the girls there. That's as far as they went. They took a couple of pictures, but look at how picturesque and beautiful this is. So we made a stop here. See if I can zoom in. This is the Wild Horse Monument. We're the only ones out here. What a difference in terrain. We left all the tall trees, the snow to hit here. This is the Columbia River. We did see a sign that says watch out for rattlesnakes, so that's a little scary. As an attempt to see these horses close up, we decided to go up the hillside. This first picture is me on the first attempt that did not go so well.
Ooh, Nelly, we made it to the top. We have to come around another way. Lesson learned, we need better shoes to get around. But we made it up here to the horses. Oh boy. Now the challenge would be to get back down. But we made it.
As you can see, we did reach the top. We took a lot of pictures of the horses. The display was so beautiful. The one thing I did not like was how people had graffiti markings on the horses, like there was vandalism on such a nice installation. The one lesson that I did learn, if we're gonna do something like this, you need the right type of footwear. Having on like street Nikes was not the thing to do. They got super dusty and they were not the best shoes to try to climb this hill in. Plus we saw some ladies with their like walking sticks and they had on their hats and gear, and I'm like, oh, this is the way to really do it. This was a quick stop just to get a bite to eat for lunch at a pizza place right near where we were getting the car charge, and then we finally made it to Spokane. The kids thought it was really cool just to go down the radio flyer wagon, which was right in the middle of downtown and very close to our hotel. They also saw the garbage goat and Zari wanted to feed it. Here's one activity that we did do while we were downtown Spokane, and it was the gondola ride over the falls. So Spokane has a waterfall that goes right through the middle of downtown. It's a man-made waterfall, but it's such a beautiful sight for being in the downtown of a city. I can't really explain it, but it's definitely cool to see. The kids started waving at people in the other gondolas across from us. They're all so friendly. Right downtown, there's also a mall. We like to try different boba teas, so we tried this tea shop that was in the mall. It was okay. What really caught my eye was inside the food court, there was a Native American restaurant called Indigenous Eats, and it had different type of meat pies and burgers. We didn't try any, but we did have a chit chat with one of the workers there. This is right outside of the park where you take the gondola rides, and as you can see, these guys are just being silly. Let's talk about accommodations. We stayed at the Davenport Grand Hotel. I highly recommend it. It has a beautiful lobby. The rooms are nice. The people are nice. And we'll get into a little bit more detail and do a little room tour a little bit later in the video. On day 2, the next morning, before we headed out to Idaho, we stopped by Gonzaga University. According to Google, Gonzaga is a private Jesuit Catholic humanistic university, and it offers a liberal arts education. And the only way I really know about this school is I always see in the men's NCAA basketball tournament, the basketball team, and I've always wondered where that school was, and now I know it's in Spokane. That morning we had breakfast at the People's Waffle. Their menu just looked really interesting. They do have an interesting batter for their waffles, so if you want to give that a try, please go ahead. The one thing I didn't really care for was they were out of potatoes for that day, and then the eggs were just eggs. Nonetheless, off to Idaho we go. Our first stop Oh, actually, this was the day of the eclipse, but here in Washington, we really didn't see it anyway. But our first stop in Idaho was Post Falls. We did go by the visitor center, and this is where they sent us down the street to the falls that they have. It's a really small, quaint town, but I will say that the people are really friendly. Here are those wild turkeys I was talking about. We were trying to find a restaurant in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and they were just kind of walking around like they owned the place. It was very bizarre. This place is really cool, and if you have children, I recommend you stop by there. It's a toy store. It's right next to the Dockside restaurant where we had lunch. And what was interesting and fun was one of the employees was trying to teach the kids how to juggle. So after wild turkeys and a little bit of looking around, we finally made it to the Dockside restaurant that we were trying to get to for lunch. This dessert was called a gooey. We didn't have it, but they did have them on display, and man, look at the calories. But right outside of the window where we were seated is the view. Very beautiful place. Again, this is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and the service was good, and you should definitely try, I think it was like poke nachos that my husband had. I had a great veggie burger, and the kids always loved fish and chips. Highly recommend. Now this is continuing on our road trip to Montana. You can see the terrain change once again, the elevations going up, and there's snow on the ground. Here's the thing, we made it to Montana. It was our goal to spend the night there in Missoula, which was another couple of hours drive from crossing the border. But realizing that we did not know what the electric car infrastructure was like there, I think it was very limited. They did not have electric car chargers at the hotel we were supposed to stay. We decided to just change plans at the last minute and go back and spend the night in Spokane and make our way back to Washington. But in the meantime, to say we went to Montana, we crossed the border, we took a couple of pictures, got out of the car, and so that's our Montana story. We crossed the border, we were in Montana. Fight me, I don't care. There's no cell service, and we're the only ones out here. So we're gonna just try not to get stuck out. It's cool though. Somebody was here. I see a little thing of bricks piled up. Whoop. We did Montana, turned around, and ended back up in Idaho. As travelers, when we find things that are of interest, we just kind of pull over to take a look at it. So there was this sign about a fire and the gold rush in the gold mines and how much silver is found here in these mountains. Very interesting story, and it was kind of cool to see it. Back in Spokane, we went to this Japanese restaurant at the mall right next to the restaurant. Their food was on display and it looked really neat, so I took a picture of it, or a video. And I had the teriyaki shrimp. The presentation was nice, but actually it was just okay. And the guava green tea I had was way too sweet. Because we like the Davenport Grand Hotel so much, this is where we came back to. And Anaya is going to give you a quick tour.
So this is where I have breakfast in the morning. When I wake up, I'm coming.
Just giving a room tour.
I'm coming in here. Over here is where I
Relax on the chaise.
Here's your drink. Then this is my bed, TV, view of California.
This is not California.
This is, and then over here is a bed. Yes, ma'am. Would you like some more? And my jacuzzi thingy. Another mirror, because why not? And then the bathroom and shower. Oh, ma'am, would you like another? Get to work, sir.
Our new SUV is a Rivian, and they recently allowed us to start using Tesla chargers. It's super convenient now because, of course, there are more Tesla chargers around than a lot of other ones. But this one was right in the middle of nowhere. This is our last day for the trip. It's a resort called Suncadia in Cle Elum, Washington, and we got the recommendation from a neighbor. So we wanted to check it out. The accommodations were actually really nice. So you had a separate bedroom from the living room space. It had a full kitchen, a washer and dryer, basically like a little mini apartment. And this is the view from the deck.
Gosh, mommy, look down here.
We would come back here. We would also bring friends and family back because there's so much to do at this resort. And there's a pool. The kids went to the fitness center. I took a aquafit class there. Of course, I was the only black person, but those ladies were so much fun. Some of them were residents and some were there for spring break just like me. This is our friends, our neighbors that told us about the resort, the Vultures. So we had a little bit of fun with them. The oldest decided to watch the Lakers and Steph Curry play. Here's me and the ladies. The landscaping alone was so beautiful and picturesque. You could see the Cascade Mountains in the back. The kids are in an outdoor heated pool, so they spent a lot of time out there, had so much fun. You could also rent bikes, which we didn't get a chance to do. There was an area for ice skating, and they had a game room for kids. There's like so much stuff to do at the resort. Now, here are the things that I really didn't care for. I thought that hold on. This has got to be one of the best photos I've ever taken. The way our planning works is my husband books the flights and the cars and the hotel stays just because he got the status, and I do the activities and where we're going to eat. And I chose that next morning for us to do the 1,000 steps from the lodge to the Cle Elum River. We got lucky and had some really nice weather that day. Okay, so you see us going around the barrier. The hotel told us that it was okay. And along the way, there are just places to stop, read their little placards. And this is by the time we made it to the bottom of the 400 stairs. And this is continuing down to the lake. You see that little squiggly line? It's a snake. I know it's just a little one, but I really, really hate snakes. This is the person that was cracking on me for that little tiny snake. This is my son's type of vibe. I won't be surprised when he's a grown up that he lives by a river somewhere, goes out fishing, but this is his happy place. Now for the climb to go back up. When I tell you my calves hurt for 2 days, they hurt for 2 days, but it was fun and I would definitely do it again. The last thing we did at the Suncadia Resort was go to the Nelson farm and do the gel blasters. This was the last activity before we headed back. It was a lot of fun. It was $16 a person for the guns, and you could buy additional ammunition. Everybody was friendly, like I've said the entire time. My only drawbacks or cons about the resort, I thought things were super expensive. If you wanted to go to the spa, it was like $200 or $300. The aquafit was actually $20 when, you know, it costs about $8 to $10 if you just wanted to do a class like that. The room had kind of a pet odor in the living room area. Didn't really feel that. And Anaya was complaining about like hair that was around. And part of the resort was renovating, so some things were closed. But overall, we had a great time here. We would definitely go back. Overall, this was a great trip, and here are some road trip tips that I have and a couple of places to check out if you're ever going to this part of the Pacific Northwest. And about those Black-owned restaurants that we did not get a chance to visit, I did find when I Googled a Black-owned directory for different businesses in the area, so I highly encourage you to give that a look and try those places.
So Naya and I are out here walking to Chili's.
Where is it?
It seems a little, I thought it was much closer to the hotel than it actually was, even though it's just like a 2-minute walk. But we're just two Black people walking around at night looking for ice cream and molten cake, because there is no molten cake in Chili's where we live. So we want to go to Chili's. No, that is not it either.
Where's the sign?
We are you Chili's. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna find this place. Thanks for watching, and we will see you the next time for another melanated adventure.